All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for our first virtual happy hour in our 45-year history. Though this is no substitution for our live banquet and our live plant auction, we are pleased to gather virtually and celebrate all that Southern Region IPPS offers its membership. And I would like to take a moment to reflect with gratitude for all that IPPS represents for each of us. The professional camaraderie, friendships, and knowledge exchanged between members is extraordinary and unique. Even during this challenging year, Southern Region members rallied behind our motto to seek and share and worked tirelessly to offer quality educational opportunities, including the Charlie Parkerson Student Research Competition and the North American Summit. Special thanks to Dr. Cheryl Boyer, who stepped up to host all these virtual sessions, providing expertise and guidance to ensure a successful experience. I'm just so excited that I got to finally work with Cheryl, so it's been a personal treat of mine. I would also like to thank all of the volunteer members who have participated in the various committees, from planning and judging the student research competition to creating the monthly newsletter and spearheading membership outreach. Southern Region is blessed to have dedicated members who strive to raise the bar of excellence. And Zooming with all of you has actually been a highlight of this very strange year for me. I'd like to also thank our generous sponsors whose support has made it possible to host these free educational events and maybe reach out to people who weren't members before. The sponsorship's investment in IPPS is valued and greatly appreciated, and we look forward to all that the future holds working with each of you. And without further delay, I would like to introduce Dr. Alan Owings, who will lead a tribute in memory of our beloved member, Ms. Margie Jenkins.
Thank you very much, Bree. It's great to be here tonight and see everyone. And we do want to recognize the recent passing of Miss Margie Jenkins. And she was just thrilled last year at our meeting in Louisiana to be able to see everyone, and that just made her year to be able to have IPPS Southern Region members at her nursery. Miss Margie was born in 1921, and she passed away January 29th of this year. Margie was 98 years old, and Margie was a member of the second generation of families that settled the Florida parishes area of Southeast Louisiana. She married her husband, Bryant, in 1946. And they were dairy farmers and timber growers, and they grew watermelons and other crops. But Miss Margie always had a love of native plants, and she always realized that there was an opportunity there. So Margie decided to try to grow some ligustrums and azaleas in the field, and her husband, Bryant, Bryant wasn't really happy about this, and he thought it was a waste of time. But then after a year or two, Margie started having all this money laying around the house, and Bryant wanted to know where all that money came from. Well, it was for selling those ornamental plants. So then Bryant kind of gave some to you. Miss Margie's real growth as a nursery lady occurred in the 1970s when she went to a landscape short course in Baton Rouge at LSU. And there was a section of the short course that talked about native plants and propagating native plants and growing native plants and the interest in native plants. So Miss Margie came back to Jenkins Farm and Nursery and was Eva's prior. So in the 1980s, 1990s, and into the 2000s, Jenkins Farm and Nursery prospered and grew and became known all over, not just the southeastern United States, but the whole United States, and even some places outside the United States, for what Margie was doing there. Margie always studied everything she could about plants. She became a ornamental plant authority, a native plant authority, and about plants every time I went to see her. She worked every day of the week growing and propagating plants. She attended every educational program she could attend. She attended every trade show she could attend. She always figured a way to get there, even when she was 90, 92, 95 years old. If she could find somebody to drive her to Atlanta for SNA or to the plant conference in Athens, she was going to be there. And it didn't matter if she didn't have a ride home, because she knew somebody would give her. Margie was recognized with Bryant, her husband, as the Nursery Persons of the Year by the Louisiana Association of Nurserymen in 1993. She was the Career Award winner for the Nursery and Landscape Association in Louisiana in 2000. She received Distinguished Service Awards from the Azalea Society of America. She was the Don Shadow Award winner with SNA. And of course, that's recognition. She's also the first woman to be inducted into the Agricultural Hall of Fame in Louisiana. What will Margie's memories be? What will we think of when we think of Margie? We'll think of her love of plants, her love of people, her ability to make everybody important, to take time for everyone, her ability to teach, her willingness to share, her desire to always continue. So really, Miss Margie was what IPPS is all about. Seeking and sharing was what exemplified Margie's life. Margie never really wanted to be recognized with awards, and she didn't want a scholarship named after her. She always wanted to start a garden or an arboretum at the nursery, but she never had time to do it. So about 15 years ago, she finally said, well, if you all want to do something, build a garden. So we built a garden at the LSU Ag Center Hammond Research Station. And of course, that garden is there today. And it has Miss Margie's favorite plants. It has native plants. It has azaleas. And it's a joy for everyone. The plaque at the garden reads, Margie Yates Jenkins, a person with a passion for plants and for plant people. The garden continues to be a source of information, inspiration, and a delight to visit, as Miss Margie was, and her wonderful life as she shared with us. So Margie is no longer with us, but she's with us in our hearts and in our memories. And she'd be very pleased that we're here today. And she would wish all of us a wonderful life and continuing what we do with the Plant Propagator Society. Let's have a toast and continue to keep Miss Margie in our hearts. Thank y'all.
Miss Margie.
Well done.
Would anybody else like to say anything? All right.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate Bree putting this PowerPoint together. Robbins also shares some nice images. Jim Robbins has pictures of everybody, so we need to check and see what else he has.
Well, thank you, Dr. Alan Owings, for your thoughtful consideration. And I do hope that we will be able to create some sort of program for IPPS Southern Region so that future generations will be aware of Miss Margie Jenkins' impact on our society and on the industry as a whole.